Welcome, guys, to another episode of Doyin's Corner. On today's episode, we have a very special guest. Today's episode is nothing like what you've seen in the previous episodes because today I'm seated with a trans woman living in Nigeria. Actually, let me say it again, a Nigerian trans woman living in Nigeria. It's not every day we come across them, and I'm very happy, I'm very honored to be interviewing her today. So I hope you guys remain respectful in the comments, and I hope you're open-minded enough to just, listen to the conversation and learn whatever it is that you can learn, if you can. So before I say too much, I'm going to introduce my guests. So I have today with me Deevah. Good afternoon. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, thank
you. You look beautiful, by the way. I know I said it to you off camera, but I wanted to say it to you on camera. You're stunning in person.
You're so beautiful too.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm
you having
good,
a good
I'm
day?
Fine. I'm chilled. I'm calm.
You're relaxed, right? No
Very
pressure.
relaxed at all.
Great. Okay, so I would like that you introduce yourself. Just tell us a little bit about Deevah.
Okay. My name is Deevah or Alexandra. I go by so many names, but I'll stick to Deevah. Okay. I'm a fashion model. I'm an influencer. I'm an advocate for the transgender community. Yeah, that's very much about me. And I got a degree in English.
Great. Okay, so before we start, I need to, out of respect, just ask what pronoun you go by.
She, us.
She and hers.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I'll start with, how is it like being a trans woman living in Nigeria?
Okay. Trans women in Nigeria, we all share similar realities, but our experiences are not always the same. For me, I would say having a past as a transgender woman, navigating through the society comes at ease. Because if I don't tell you I'm trans, you wouldn't know.
Right.
Yes.
True.
But there are so many trans women in Nigeria that doesn't necessarily have the past. So it's hard for them. So for my own personal experience, it's been good.
It's not bad.
It's just that some human beings don't have sense. And I'm always ready for them. Yes.
Right. I think a lot of us have completely confused. I don't even know if we have good understanding of what the differences between trans women, gay people,
Okay.
If you can just enlighten us a little bit about, the queer community in general.
All right. Okay, what does it mean to be queer to begin with? Okay, we live in an heteronormative society. To be queer simply means that you do not conform to these societal norms in an heterosexual society. Yeah, so there's a huge disparity between gender identity and sexual orientation. Most people don't even know. Gender identity is who you sleep as.
Okay.
That's your gender identity is here. It's in your brain, not your assigned
Like
genital at birth.
who you present yourself to the world as.
And what you identify as.
Okay.
Thank you.
So in your case, your gender identity is trans woman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So while sexual orientation simply defines who you sleep with and who you're attracted to.
Okay. So is it possible for somebody to be a trans woman and still be attracted to the opposite gender or the same gender?
Yes, it's very possible because sexuality is very fluid. People are attracted to who they're attracted to. And there are so many pansexual people in Nigeria and they don't even know that they're pansexual. They don't even know what pansexuality is.
I assume a pansexual person is someone that is attracted to anybody, right?
Yes, regardless of their gender identity
just
and sexual orientation.
based.
And sexual orientation, So in that regard, I would say sex is just an act. Sexual orientation is not ultimately defined by sex, but a certain attraction towards a particular gender or genders, as the case may be. That's why you could have so many gay men in Lagos or in Nigeria at large that are married to women, have children by them, but they are gay. They're not even bisexual, they are gay men. Yes, and bisexuality is also another thing. So it's just a lot.
So just for the sake of people that, maybe don't understand what you're saying, I want to ask a question to kind of elaborate on what you said. You said your sexual orientation is not it's not about who you sleep with, it's about who you're attracted to.
It's ultimately about sex.
Okay.
You
so
understand?
Even if I'm a girl and I'm sleeping with a man and my the moment I'm attracted to another girl, I'm a lesbian or I'm bisexual.
Yes,
right?
if you're attracted to both a man and a woman, then you're bisexual.
Okay, so even if I've never slept with a woman before, but I sleep with men, but I'm attracted to women too, it means I'm bisexual.
Yes.
So for married men in Lagos that you spoke about, that have wives at home and children, I'm sure they have sex with their wives, but they're attracted to men outside. They are bisexual.
Yes, it's the attraction that determines sexual orientation, like by default, not even sex. Anybody can fuck anybody.
Right.
That's just the truth. But the attraction matters a lot because it's here.
Right.
Not there.
Right.
You understand?
Right. Okay, so I think one thing I'm most curious about is how did it start? At what point did you realize, because of course you were biologically a boy.
Yes.
Yeah. So at what point did you realize I want to be a girl?
I think it started from from a very long time. You know, sexual orientation and gender identity is not something you choose for yourself.
Right.
It's an inborn or innate thing. Yeah, so I think even from when I was little, it's just from the beginning of time, I would say, I can't even remember. So that would even tell you that it's been a very long time. Even growing up, I don't want to be identified as E or
really?
bro.
Even when you were like young?
Nah, it's nauseating.
Really?
It crawls on my skin. Yes.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I do.
And your parents, were they aware of it, like while you were younger, like, I don't want...
Well, a mother would always know her child. I will say it till tomorrow. Whether you really want to accept that child or not, or you're playing dumb, it's up to you. But a mother would always know her child. You will know what to give birth to, or what you've given birth to. You understand? So I would say with my sisters and my mom, it was easier. Then my brother was, excuse me, my brother was somewhat like headstrong, but I had to put him in his place. My dad too. My dad is just indifferent. So it's just what it is. You know, there's nothing you can do with an adult. You cannot change an adult. You can only manage them.
And there was no situation, maybe when you were younger. Now I understand now that you're an adult, you probably live by yourself. You don't depend on them as much. But like while growing up, there was no time that, they had to take you to church for deliverance. All of these things that we see where they feel like they can pray it out of you or they can, Before you even answer, there was something you mentioned that I wanted to talk about. I think there's this question that has been overflogged. People keep asking, is your sexuality or your sexual orientation your choice? Is it a choice? Do people choose to be gay? Do people choose to, or do you feel like it's something that is just a feeling that just happens? Or is it something that maybe because some people say that, maybe because the boy was touched while he was growing up, or he was sexually harassed while he was growing up, or the girl was, that's what happened, or...
Okay, like I would say, like I earlier said rather, I talked about sexuality, that sex does not ultimately define sexuality, attraction does.
Right.
You can't choose who you're attracted to, but you can choose who you sleep with. It's I don't know how to explain it, but it's very delicate, really, but it's not a choice. There are some things that are beyond you.
Right.
Even as a human being, aside your sexuality or gender identity, no, it's not a choice. It's just that some people choose to live another life outside of the life they are supposed to be living because of the societal pressure and all of that.
Okay, still speaking on family. I mean, at some point you're going to have a family of your own, right? First of all, I need to ask, are you even interested in having kids at all?
Yes, sure. Whether I get to carry them, whether I get to adopt, family is family. Speaking
about carrying them, I would assume that it's not biologically possible for a trans woman. I don't know. I also don't have all the information about it, to be honest. I'm not the most knowledgeable person in this regard. So that's why I'm asking. Can trans women carry a fetus?
Yes, now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, through the creation of uterus and the transplant of uterus. Uterus is the organ that carries
yeah.
Yes.
So there's a way to put it in.
Exactly,
Oh, wow.
but it's fucking expensive.
I can imagine.
Yes, even the genital reassignment surgery too is expensive.
I can imagine. So, say you have your child, whether it's by adoption or by carrying it yourself, would you be open with your child enough to say, you know what, baby, I was once a boy and now I'm a girl? Oh, I'm sorry. That even sounds so funny to me. But like, I don't know how else to say. Like, is this something? How do you intend to have this conversation with your child, or is this something that you're just going to ignore?
I think certain things are better said. Because no matter how you hide the truth, it will come right in front of you.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So, and as a parent, you should always listen to your children. You should always tell them things about you, even if it becomes uncomfortable.
Right.
They could learn from your experiences. They could navigate through life like easily if they've learned some things from you. Right. So yes, why not? If it's necessary, yes. If it's not, to me, I'm indifferent about it. I just don't really care.
If you had a child that said, you know, mommy, I think I don't want to be a boy again. I want to be a girl. Would you be comfortable with that?
Well, yes. Why I said so is that I would just allow people make their choices. Although experience is not the best teacher, knowledge is.
I agree.
Yes, but just let people make their choices, because at the end of the day, one, you get to live with them. I'm living with mine. So regardless of whatever, just let people make their choices. You just have to love and support them. Because if you want to like discriminate them, or you want to like push them away, you just you just keep pushing them further away from you, and it's not going to be good at all when you love that child. Right. The society is already against them. You can't be against them too.
Absolutely. You know one thing that I love that you've said so far. I am somebody that I am straight. I'm heterosexual. Yeah. Okay. But still, I believe that every human being deserves to be respected, regardless of how you choose to present yourself, regardless of what your sexual orientation is or whatever. And I'm happy that you have the love and the support at home, because it can be tough, especially in this country.
That was what I spoke about. My experience being different. Trans people, trans women in quotes, we have like similar experience, similar reality, because we are trans. But our experiences are different. A lot of trans women in Nigeria are not educated. Yeah. They are from broken homes. So I think that's as someone's informed how they're living till today.
Yeah. And to be fair, I understand that, you know, I don't particularly agree with the way they're being treated in this country, because I see a lot of like cruel things being done to them, and for no other reason aside for how they choose to present themselves to the world.
Okay. Right? All right. There are no laws in Nigeria or constitution that incriminates trans people. And when I talk about trans people, people don't even know the difference between cross-dressers, transsexuals, transgenders. It's just that they fall under the trans umbrella, transitioning, transgender, like everything. Because they are transvestites, which are the cross-dressers, drag queens, drag kings. Then we have the transgenders, like individuals, male or female, that are taking the hormonal replacement therapy, because what is here, which is your gender identity, does not tally with your assigned genitalia at birth. Right. Why transsexuals is just like, those are at the bottom, like the finer. Right. They've undergone genital reassignment surgery and all of that. Okay. Yeah, so
I want to speak a little bit about Nigeria and the way trans people, or I don't even want to just say trans people, I think queer people in general in Nigeria, the way they present themselves. I personally have a problem with it. It's okay to be queer. It's okay to, however you choose, I don't really care. But I don't understand why they dress funny. What's the concept behind, honestly, what's the concept behind you can be gay and still, you know, especially because you're living in a community that is not accepting of what you are, and you know that it's not safe for you. Okay. Is there like a thing that they teach, like, oh, you know what, the moment you're gay, you know, you have to dye your hair green, and then you have to wear like certain outfits to like stamp
I don't think so. I get where you're coming from. Yeah. And be that as it is, I also feel that way similarly, but I don't totally agree with you. Okay. Because one, sexuality is an expression. You understand?
Right.
It's an expression. See, no matter how hard you try to hold
it,
you
yeah.
cannot hold it. Others, we have like conk pretenders, people that can like pretend to the fullest.
Right.
You will never know anything private about them. But what I would have to say is that I just think queer people should be more informed and careful as regards these things, because you're in a third world country that does not necessarily accept you.
Right.
Exactly. But at the same time, if we are to be fair, people should live their lives. It's just that some people make their lives all about, like, it's as if your gender identity or sexual orientation revolves all around their life. Being a trans woman is merely 1% of my life. It's not an embodiment of me.
Right.
Yes. What can you bring to the table? Are you smart? Are you intellectually sound? Are you tenacious? Are you hardworking? Keep your gender identity or your sexual orientation aside first. Because I just feel most queer people, they just carry it on their head, and it's not so good. And for trans persons who are not yet transitioning, I just feel it's okay for you to live your life, but you should also love your life.
Absolutely.
Loving your life in terms of be careful of where you go to.
Absolutely.
How
Safety
you dress.
first.
Exactly. How you dress and all of that is just really, really important, because there are some sick people out there.
Absolutely.
Nigerians are mental. Nigerians are bullies. Nigerians are vehemently hypocritical. They are sometimes intentionally ignorant and intensely opinionated about things they know nothing about.
I mean, are we really going to just say Nigerians? Because even outside Nigeria, there's like laws that actually protect their rights.
People.
They still face certain hate.
Yes, I was still going to talk about that. I'm just using Nigeria as a case study because I stay here, I stay in Nigeria. You understand? So even abroad, like in the US, the rights of queer people in general, queer people, it's an embodiment of the LGBTQI community.
Right.
Yeah, are recognized. But there are hate crimes. People are dying. They are killing people. Talk less more you that you are now in Nigeria. That you know that your right as a queer person is not like...
It's not even there. They don't
Exactly.
recognize
It's
it.
not recognized. Yeah. And people always... I would say this so that people would understand and let it sink in. Gay people are not trans people.
Gay people are not trans people.
Exactly. Okay. Homosexuality is a sexuality. Transgenderism is a gender identity. And they are two different things.
Which one does Nigeria incriminate people for? Being gay?
Yeah.
Not for changing your gender?
For the homosexuals.
Okay.
That's why I would rightly say, I know my laws, I know the Constitution. There are no laws yet that incriminates trans people. But there are still no laws that recognizes your right as a trans person. Right. So it's like 50-50. You understand?
Yeah.
And people don't often know that respecting people's pronouns and genders is something that is very, very valid.
I agree with you.
There are a lot of men that love trans women, and they are not gay. Being in love with a trans woman does not make you gay or even bisexual.
Okay, I need to ask a question in that department. When you say being in love with a trans woman doesn't make you gay, sorry, you're hot.
Yeah.
I'm assuming for you to say you are a trans woman, it means that you have gone through the surgical process to take away your... I don't even know if it's appropriate. Yeah, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can be in this conversation.
But I just explained something about the trans umbrella.
Okay, so there are trans people that have not gone through that process, but they're still trans.
Yes, because gender identity is here, not what you have down there.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay,
so a trans woman and a cisgendered man in a relationship is an heterosexual relationship.
Right, because she's already presenting herself as identifying as a woman.
Exactly.
Right. And
a pansexual could be in love with a trans man and stuff like that. And people don't even really know that there are trans women who are attracted to men and women.
trans women. Oh, these things can be so confusing.
Exactly.
You know?
Trans women who are attracted to men and women.
Okay.
So I think they should just calm down, because I get a lot of questions. I'm attracted to you. Does it mean I'm gay? No, you're not gay. You're not bisexual. You could be pansexual, heterosexual, and there are so many terms for men that are attracted to femininity, womanhood. So many. My lexicon is full. My brain dictionary
Trust
is full.
me, you've even tried.
I can't even remember the terms. So they should just like calm down. And I would just say this and let it sink in. Nigerians are bullies. And I don't know why you're always eating on that particular thing you know you do. Nigerians and double standards are like 5 and 6. Okay, you see some things on the blogs and you see people like, if I catch this person, I will do this, I will do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You even see, I know some conk lesbians that would even be in that comment section, raving and ranting, like they are... like they are conk lesbians. Right. This one, they don't even like men in any way. And they are all, then you see a gay man saying, why are you gay? Or
where you yourself you are gay.
You know you are gay. Okay, please, if you keep saying these things in the comment section, who are the people in my DM? I said, Doyin, people sexualizes trans women on a daily to a point that it makes you want to. It makes me sick. It's repulsive, it's appalling, and it ends down repugnant.
Ooh.
Because why would you say those things in public? Then you send me your genitalias, your penis, your dick. For real? To my DM. You tell me how you masturbate to my pictures and my videos on a regular. And you tell me how you want to get inside of me. This is so this is so mortifying to even say. But yeah, I just feel the numbers of penises I've seen in my 20s would last me a lifetime. I would say it. Goodness. And women too also sexualizes trans women. Because women has, like, there's so many women that'll be like, I want to use strap-on you. I want to do this, because people have fetish for penises. Maybe he's a man or a woman. Yeah, so please, you should stop that nonsense. If you're in one place, if they're discussing things that you don't necessarily agree with, just keep quiet. Especially when you know you've done these things, you're doing them or you're about to do them. So what point are you trying to prove? Right. Because at the end of the day, there's only one person we answer to, which is God. Yeah. So I don't see why people would actively want to make other people's life miserable just because they want to feel better about themselves. Right.
So, I agree with you. I agree with you on a lot of things that you said, and I wish I could apologize to the entire queer community for how they've been treated in this country. But you know what? We need to go on a quick break, and we're going to be back very shortly.
All right, that's fine.
Welcome back, guys, from that short break. I'm still seated with the beautiful Deevah, and we're still speaking about the queer community. That's because I keep mixing that trans thing up. Okay, so there was a question that came to mind while you were speaking.
Okay.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Well, you know, we live in a country where religion is one of our strongest points. In fact, like we carry religion on our head past anything in this country.
Sure.
Do you think that this is in any way, you know, conflicting with being a Christian? Do you think this is something, because there are a lot of people that say gay people or queer people in general will go to hell. There's that conversation, right? Is this something you believe in, or do you have your own interpretation of what would happen eventually?
I would say trans people, because I can only particularly talk about trans people, even if I'm going to like elaborate more as regards everything you just said. Trans people already existed from the beginning of time.
Really? In the Bible? What trans person was in the Bible?
Like, trans people existed like from the beginning of time, because there are a lot of effeminate people. It's just that they weren't really mentioned in any way, even in Africa. Even during the old colonial era of the British colonizing Nigerians and all of that, even our forefathers. And there's even someone they used to call area scatter then in Nigeria.
In the past. Okay.
Yes, in the past. So I don't think it's something that started today. And speaking of queer in general, I would just only say it is left for God to judge.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I would not necessarily know if that is like a sin or not. It's not in my place to tell.
Right.
Exactly, because heterosexual people thinks everything with them it's normal, and I just think people chooses the kind of sin that is comfortable with them.
Right. I saw a quote today that said, sinners judging sinners for sinning differently. That's the life we live in.
I just feel it's something that is subjective.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. So there might be, and this is not me, at the end of the day, I'm all for, live your life however you want to live your life. But just for the sake of people that might, be dealing with internal struggles of, I don't like how I present myself to the world. I wish I was a girl, or I wish I was a guy. What is the process of surgical, what's that whole process?
Okay. A lot of people suffer from gender dysphoria.
Oh God, what is that? Well, I feel like I'm going to use Google a lot when I'm done speaking. You're so well spoken. I need to give you credit on that. Yeah.
Thank you. Gender dysphoria, that is, you're not really comfortable with your body.
Okay.
You just feel that those changes are meant to be made. That's when you look down there, you don't want it, or you look at your arm, like in general. You understand? Yeah, so that's why they think most times trans people suffer from gender dysphoria. That's what leads to transitioning, because you want to match what is here with your physical appearance. Because there's gender behavior, gender expression, and your physical appearance. You understand?
But it's the process of doing that. First of all, I assume it's very expensive. Right?
Okay, wait. Let's not jump to the surgical procedure first. Okay. Baby steps. Yeah, so if you, like most trans persons that are transitioning, are on hormonal replacement therapy. Those appeals.
What does that do?
It replaces one hormones for the other. Just like the name, it's very lucid. Yeah, so it replaces the male hormones for the female hormones. Every individual got both hormones. Okay.
One is just more dominant than the other.
Exactly. Your estrogen level is like on a 90, but you still have testosterone, which is the male hormones. So in the case of trans people, like a trans woman like myself, being born biologically male, those hormones suppresses the testosterone and boosts the estrogen. Okay. Yeah, so you have to be on this therapy for like almost 5 years, with what I heard. Really? To go into the to get your genital reassignment surgery done.
Oh, okay. So the drugs come first before the surgery.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So is it these drugs that people take that helps to change their voice, make their voice sound more feminine? Does it? Yeah, because we've seen some people they sound.
They are not drugs for feminine voices.
So how do they do that thing, the change? How do they make the change, vocally?
It's innate, because I've always sounded like this even before transitioning. For myself, a lot of people would fake their voices. I don't know. But there are a lot of transgender girls with big voices. Even in Thailand, they will be so pretty, but until they open their mouth to talk, that's when you actually know. That's when you actually know that they are trans people. And that's still fine. Right. Yeah, but the testosterone is a very strong hormone, you understand? For trans men, it changes their voice.
For trans, that's women that change into men, right? Those are trans
That term is wrong. Sorry. Not women that change into men.
Okay, how
But
do I say?
I understand. You're just trying to let me
Yeah.
understand something. Yeah, for people that transition into a particular gender.
Okay.
For biological women that
Women.
transitions into
Okay.
a trans man.
Okay.
Yeah, it changes their voice because testosterone is a very strong hormone.
Oh, okay.
But for trans women, there are no
it doesn't
drugs
really.
for voice or anything. It comes naturally.
Okay. So, I mean, I used to watch a lot of YouTube, like back in the days, and that was when I even first of all heard about this whole like trans thing, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
what's this about? And, I've watched a couple of videos where a lot of them have said, after my transition, then I started to regret it.
Okay, people that
Right.
detransition.
Yeah. So, are you not worried about that? Do you not feel like maybe, because, we're constantly changing, right?
Exactly, and change is
what we want
constant.
today, what I wanted at 10 years,
It's
like
not-
10 years old is not what I want now.
it's
What I
called-
even wanted in fact, 2 years ago is not what I want now.
It's
So do
called
you
growth.
have that fear of what if I get to a point in my life where I'm like, you know what, I don't want this anymore?
I don't think so. I don't think so because self-acceptance is a process. It takes a lot of time to accept who you are as an individual in general. It doesn't even really have to do with your gender identity or sexual orientation. Then being queer in any way, whether you're a trans man or anything, it takes a lot of time to accept yourself.
Right.
For me personally, I run things within my own pace. I do what I want when I want to do it, not because others are doing it or someone is doing it. I started transitioning when I was ready, when I had that mental
Conviction that this is what you wanted to do.
I'm like, okay, it's time. Prior to then, I had the resources. One of the constraints for most trans women is getting the hormonal pills because it's expensive. But I had the resources. I was just lucky. I had the resources, but I didn't start immediately. It took me like a year plus, and I'm like, am I ready for this? Is this what I want? I came to that consensus. I'm like, yes, I think this is what I want. So let me just go for it when I was ready.
Right.
Not because I saw other persons doing it. And
Right.
it goes, it goes same way with surgical procedures. I've never had any surgery before. You
Oh,
understand?
really?
Never. I've never had a breast augmentation before. I've never had BPO. I've never had any surgery before.
Wait, these pills, do they help for... Okay, oh my God, I don't know how to respectfully ask this question,
No,
but God
you
sees
can
my heart. I'm
ask.
trying to be as
No.
respectful as I
No,
can be.
sure, you can
But
ask.
these pills, do they help like to
For breast
grow?
growth.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why they're estrogen boosters.
Oh.
They boost.
Oh, okay. So even without surgery or anything,
Yes.
once you start taking those pills,
And your genes too matters. If you have good genes, then it's a win-win for you because your hormones will work very, very fast.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and there are some trans women who were already even fine before transitioning.
Right.
So they didn't have to really do too
Too
much.
much. Okay.
Yeah, so but the surgery, not yet.
Bless
Sorry.
you. Are there any side effects to this? First of all, the pills. I wouldn't ask about the surgery because you say you haven't gotten it done yet. So I would ask about the
Yes.
pills. Are
Like
there any
as
side
regards the
effects?
surgery, okay.
For the hormonal pills first.
Okay, for the pills.
Yeah.
I think more of the side effect has to do with the psychological. Because you're transitioning
Right.
mentally, a lot
And
is
hormones,
changing.
yeah.
Your
Our
hormones
entire
is
mood and
raging.
everything is like controlled by our hormones. So I can
sometimes
imagine.
it leads to a short-handed depression. You are easily emotional. You cry at the slightest thing. You are easily exasperated or infuriated. Any small thing just irritates you.
Right.
Like when you're starting. So you have to be emotionally intelligent enough to occupy that space in your head so you can manage the situation.
Right.
If not, you will lose your mind.
I
So
can imagine.
it's not easy. You understand? And it's really, really appalling that people are going through these things. It's their choice. They didn't ask you to come and buy hormones for them.
Right.
Then you'll be online saying things you don't even know. And you don't even know what they are going through. I mean, that act is just so reprehensible and incorrigible because Most Nigerians don't have sense. Yes, I just say that.
Ooh, okay. I can imagine that it must be tough being a trans woman living in Nigeria. Maybe it's easier for you because, you're more privileged than the average. Yeah. But have you ever considered maybe relocating to a country that, allows you to just live your life?
Yeah, like most definitely, because I think sometime last year I was processing to get second degree in law out of Nigeria. So I was like the individual I was dating was helping with the whole process. So when I broke up with them, it halted.
Oh.
Not because I cannot necessarily take myself out of Nigeria on my own and go and start working and stuff like that, but I'd rather go through school. It's more reputable, and I just feel it's just the best.
Are there even other methods to... Okay, I think seeking asylum is a way to
Seeking
also
asylum is hard. It takes forever to get that.
Wow.
Like, it takes forever to actually get that. So if you just have your money, like, just go. But me, I love Nigeria. I don't know if it's something with your comfort zone,
Right.
something like that. Because like, it goes same with the BBL surgery. If I'd wanted to do it like years ago, I would have done it. The normal Lagos
Right.
BBL surgery, not cost more than 5M. You understand? Yeah. But it's not a priority for me.
Right.
Personally, for me, I will do the surgery, but it's just not a priority for me. I'd rather invest that in school than...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the last thing I just want to say is, what would you say to that child that is not comfortable with their gender, has not spoken out, that is fighting that internal battle of, do I accept myself? Do I come out to the world and, let the world know who I am? What would you say to that child?
I would just tell you, you have to face reality. I'm not going to stroke your ego or anything, but the thing is just that, just love yourself at the end of the day, because nobody would love you better than yourself, not even your own mother. So just love yourself, accept yourself. It takes time. You must not just feel something and act on it. Understand yourself. Give it time. If it persists, it is what it is.
Right.
Because sometimes some things are not always as they seem to be. You understand? But I'll just say, just be strong. And if it means you conforming in Nigeria to get out of school, maybe your parents are well to do and you want to school out, just conform, get what you want and leave. Then you can go elsewhere and live your life.
Okay, so the second category of people that I want you to speak to are parents that have kids that have now come out to them to say, Mommy, Daddy, I don't want to be this person.
Okay.
How would you?
All right, I will tell you, I'll speak to both parents that their children have spoken to. And I'll speak to both parents that their children are afraid of to speak to about these things. To you, that your child has come to you to tell you that, okay, this is what I am, and you are taking them for deliverance and all of that. I will tell you, okay, it's only normal for you to do that because, one, you're an African parent and you love that child. But I would also tell you that you should just let God and nature take its will. Because if you keep pushing a child towards one direction, they'll keep tilting towards the other.
Right.
So just accept the child. Keep praying for them if that's what you know how to do. If that's what works for you, yes. If any changes will come.
But
let it come.
Can you pray the gay away? Can you pray the feeling away?
I'm just saying. Because
but if that makes them feel better, by all means.
Because I'm just trying to be respectable. If that's what makes you feel better, keep praying. Maybe one day they'll change. And as for those parents that have come, your own child cannot talk to you. They are homosexuals, so they are lesbians, they are practicing it, but they will never come to you because they cannot discuss things like that with you. You condemn them, you judge them. You should also understand as a parent that no matter what you're going through with your child, or no matter what your child is going through, just be with them, have their back, because the society is already against them.
Right.
You understand? You cannot fight people that are fighting your own.
Right. Right.
You cannot fight your own when people are fighting them. Sorry.
Wait, you cannot fight your own when other people, when outsiders are already fighting them. Right.
So the society is already fighting them. You don't have to fight them too. Just love them, pray for them, be their friends, and with time, you would understand it. And I'll just tell queer people, you don't need acceptance or validation from anybody so long they respect you.
Right.
That's the truth, because self-acceptance for yourself even takes a very long time. So you cannot impose it on people.
On another person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the final category of people that I would like you to speak to are Nigerians. The people in the comment section. The people that are always bashing people based on... Yeah. What would you say to them?
Okay. I would just say to you that you're very irresponsible and you should be very much ashamed of yourself if you know you're actually committing a particular act or you're actually doing some things in private, but you come in public to denounce, or you come in public to make other people's lives seem like a living hell. Yeah. I will tell you that you should just pray to God for forgiveness, because God loves everybody at the long run. Both you, that you're thinking that you are perfect, and people that are also queer. Everybody is equal in the eyes of God. So just live your life and stop pretending. You know yourselves, I'm talking to you. So if you want to listen to me, listen to me. If you don't want to listen to me, it's your business. But there's nothing hidden under the sun. And you can deceive everybody, but you cannot deceive yourself. You know what you're doing. You know what you do. You know what you've done. And you know what you're attracted to. Accept it or not, it's your life.
Facts. All right, so we've spoken extensively about this conversation, and I'm thank you for granting this interview.
You're welcome.
First of all. Yeah, so I would just say something to people out there that are struggling with that feeling within themselves and they cannot come out for whatever reason, right? For me, I would always say safety first before anything.
Anything, yes.
There's sometimes that, it's not comfortable for you to come out. The situation is not right for you to come out. If you're still dependent on your parents and you know that there's no way they would accept that, I wouldn't say come out yet. Wait until you have the money or the resources to, live a life. Where you're independent. And then you can do whatever you want to do with your life.
Exactly.
Do you understand? I know it's tough, but, it's all a matter of time. You grow up, you make money at some point. And also, I hope that you are more patient with your parents, because they're also doing it for the first time. They've never had kids that have come out to them to say, I'm gay. They've never had kids that have come out to say, I want to change my gender or whatever. So they don't hate you. They're also trying to understand what they're feeling and, finding the best possible way to navigate however they're feeling and to navigate this conversation that you've just had with them. So just be patient with them. At the end of the day, we're all trying to figure life out. And I hope that the best happens for all of us. And with that, we come to the end of this episode. I hope you guys have learned a thing or two from this, and ciao. See you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.